Hello and welcome to this new section in this course on excellence in time management on how to improve your time management competency level. You have determined your competency in the last lecture by doing those assignments and exercises. You know what is your overall competency level and what are the behaviors that you need to improve, and so in this what are we going to do in this section is to help you learn how to improve your time management competency to gain excellence in time management to do even better in life. And in this lecture particularly and overall in this section, we're going to talk about how can you overcome the obstacles that we had talked about in one of the sections earlier, one of the lectures earlier. And in this particular lecture, we will talk about how can you, if you are facing the obstacle of unclear objectives in your working, and that causes your time management competency to be affected, how can you improve your time management competency by overcoming the obstacles of the unclear objectives? So, in this, as we were saying, we will look at how to improve your time management competency and we will look at all the possible obstacles. By overcoming these obstacles that you see on your screen, like unclear objective, disorganization, inability to say no, interruptions, more interruptions, too many things to be done, stress and fatigue, all work and no play. So these are the various obstacles that we have talked about. And we will take you through how can you overcome each of these so that you can pick the relevant obstacle for yourself, for your personalized time management competency improvement, and then develop action plans and move forward. So let's take a look at each of these. So let's start with, as we were saying in the purpose part of this presentation, was how can you overcome the unclear objectives? How can you clarify the objectives of work so that you can better manage your time? Any thoughts on that? So there are a couple of things that you can do. First, by understanding the purpose and scope of work. You need, whatever work is being assigned to you or you have undertaken, you need to ask some questions and write a small statement, short statement, not more than one sentence, to state your understanding of the purpose and scope of work and get confirmation of that. What do you need to ask? Simple questions like what needs to be done? What am I supposed to do? Why are we doing this? That's a great question because that gives you a sense of why are you doing the thing that you're asked to do, and then you can do it much more efficiently in lesser time. When do we need this to be finished? What is the timeline that they have in mind? And once you have the timeline, you can plan it accordingly. How much will this cost? You also need to look at the cost element of doing the work. So that whole idea is to do in time and at the cost which is less than what you have initially. And at the end of asking this question, you should be in a position to write a short statement. I'm sorry. Which says what is the action and the end result? What would you do? Say, for example, if I'm going to take up a new course, then I would say develop a new course on digital marketing, which can teach and coach the students to make a career in digital marketing. And I would say the time I should be able to develop that within a month's time, and the costs without incurring any out of pocket expenses. So like that, you develop a short statement of the work that you needs to be done. Clear? Right. The second thing that you need to ask is more questions you need to ask. At the end of the project, what value will we have? What is it that you or your customers would get out of completing the project? Because you can complete the project or work, but unless it becomes a part of the value realization of yourself or the customers, it would not serve the purpose. And that determines the quality of the project. What benefits do we want from the project having completed? What limitation or constraints do we have in implementation of the project? What requirements must be met? How do we know that what are the requirements of a successful completion of the project? And how do we know whether we will satisfy each of these objectives? And then you write again short statements on specific benefits and specific objectives. And then you compare objectives to the original concerns that made you take this work up or the project up. And then you say, if I do all of these things, if I deliver all these benefits, if I I'm able to manage these constraints, if I meet these requirements, if I satisfy each objectives, will my original issues or concerns that made me do this will go away. So that's how you can get clarity on the objectives, right? So what do we do next? So in the next, we'll look at more obstacles, and we'll start with two of them clubbing together because they are partly related, largely related. You can say that disorganization. If you have an issue of feeling or doing things in a disorganized ways, or you have too many things to do at once, we can look at how can you overcome these obstacles in the next module. So thank you so much for watching this lecture on how to improve your time management competency, the first lecture of that, in which we looked at how can we clarify the objectives so that you can better manage your time. I hope that you have enjoyed this lecture and you have learned something new, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture.